Well, we're down at the Manx Museum where the Treasury Minister has been talking to the public and particularly businesses, the private sector. I think 71 were here, there's a streaming version of it as well. We've just been given a little version and I'm going to be putting up all the PowerPoints as we talk because there's so much in it. I mean, I think you issued 6 press releases to go with this.
Yes.
So this will be just an overview, but we'd like to do much more in depth. Let's talk about the 71 people that are here. I mean, what was the vibe like? These are people who are obviously, some are hurting very much, some are doing all right now. What's the situation?
Yeah, I mean, it's a mixed picture, Paul, as you will well be aware. Some businesses are actually doing quite well out of the pandemic in terms of their ability to reach out to a broader audience. So if you're in the tech businesses, for example, I know our life businesses seem to be holding up relatively well. But the tourist and accommodation sector, for example, is clearly under huge pressure, and their businesses are effectively closed. So
you've expanded that one.
So we are supporting that. It's important, absolutely important, that we listen to business and we communicate with business and people about their experiences, and we understand what we need to do. We set out very clearly the key themes around this. We're in the business of protecting jobs, stabilising the economy, and investing in our future right now. We must remember, despite the bubble that we're living in, and sometimes it's easy to forget, there is a global crisis going on and it has direct implications for the island. Albeit things are not as bad as we thought they were going to be, we cannot afford to be complacent, and we are busy at the moment working hard to make sure that we fulfil our primary objectives.
Well, besides the tourist side of things, I mean, most businesses presumably have now recovered, haven't they? I mean, your graphs, there's so many things going on here, but you had that V shape by the looks of it. You have had the dip and it's come back in almost all sectors.
So look, I mean, we've got some key indicators. So unemployment, for example, is obviously a key indicator for us. That's gone from a peak of 1,350 people down to 880 or so at the moment. So that's been a healthy reduction, and that's encouraging. But on the flip side to that, we've also had 900 people end up on Mirror or finish at the end date on Mirror, and one has to understand how many of those might go across to job seekers. And of course, as I said, we can't be complacent, because certainly from the work that we did earlier in the summer, we felt that there was a strong chance that some businesses may be looking to reorganise themselves, and that some redundancies may come as well. Now, I urge businesses to hold off. Obviously, I want businesses to recognise the benefits to the broad economy of stability at the moment, but accepting some of that is going to happen. We need to create job opportunities also, as well as protecting jobs.
Right, so you're putting money in, aren't you? You're coming up with schemes that's going to put money into particularly the private sector. I mean, the broadband's going to be speeded up, more money towards legalising of cannabis and the medical thing, or what that's all about. But I mean, where do these ideas come from? You've got this big sort of committee. Is this coming from you? What?
So we formed an economic response group. I mean, on the basis that absolutely we needed to act positively to the situation. The economic response group is not a panacea for every government project that's going on, but is there to speed up those projects and deliver new projects where we feel they are either going to be a benefit to our people in terms of training and job opportunities, to our island in terms of the infrastructure, or to our future in terms of future investment. So, for example, speeding up, so we've put £1.4 million now into speeding up the delivery of high-speed fibre, reducing that from pretty much 5 years to...
It's 4 to 3, isn't it?
4 down to 3 years for the bulk of it anyway, and then we'll probably have a little overspill into 4 years. But look, so £1.4 million into there is a clear example of our determination to speed that up. That will also create jobs, but also give confidence in terms of the island as a place for future business. We've invested now £900,000 in creating up to 1,600 training opportunities at UCM, with courses ranging from cyber security to mental health.
So many sides of what you're doing there, but I mean, $500,000 for people to put on things around the island.
Yes, we got an events fund. Predominantly local authorities, but businesses or charities within communities can themselves come along, set up the event, whatever it is, at Christmas fairs or Oktoberfests or whatever they want to do to attract people to their region, and of course on the basis that this will help support the domestic economy. So we recognise, in all these circumstances, that we absolutely should act now on the basis that we do not want to sit back and drift and watch jobs fall away, which are much harder to recover when this full recovery comes and this pandemic is over.
What was the mood music like to these people in here? Were you getting a good feedback? Was there pain still in there for some people? What's going on?
Yeah, it is a mixed picture for many businesses. I think clearly there's an absolute recognition that we have taken the right actions in the course of this pandemic in terms of what we've brought out, the salary support schemes, the mirror, the additional support that we've given in terms of indirect backing to bank loans, to working capital loans, to the schemes that are going through DFE. So actually, business, I think, can feel confident that we are ready to support them. What we need to do, obviously, is to keep listening to them and to both act proactively, but also be there in a position to react should the situation worsen.
The reserves seem okay. I mean, there was a tiny little hit, according to your graph, so that's good, presumably.
They've broadly recovered to the levels they were pre-pandemic.
But, you're still going to be putting out a lot of money. Where's this money come from? And does it need Tynwald support, or is this a done deal?
So Tynwald, acknowledging the situation in July, totally supportive of the Economic Recovery Group, the need for an economic recovery plan, essentially said, we can have up to £100 million. Now, we've spent and allocated £12 million already from that across all the areas that you've heard about today, to create jobs and build a better future for the island and to stabilise the economy. But just spending money is not going to be the measure of success here. So actually, the less that we spend in terms of £100 million is probably
it's a lot less than you thought, though. In the day, wasn't it? You know where we were going at the beginning of this whole thing.
Well, there's still some uncertainty. We're very, very clear on what we've spent in terms of the direct support, and we know how much that's costing. Where we are less certain is what the overall net inflow of monies coming into government is going to look like at the end of the year, and how we need to structure ourselves for next year's budget. So we've got a lot on our...
Just quickly though, you did have a plan B, because I was waiting for the plan B, because that's the whole thing. We went to an event the other week where it seemed like we were all thinking it's all over, some celebration event, but it's clearly we're in the middle of this, right? So you're ready for plan B?
I can't emphasise enough to everybody, and I emphasise to everybody here today, we are not complacent about this situation at all. I recognise, others around us recognise that this has still got some considerable way to run. We have got, I think what people need to be confident in is, although we've turned off a lot of the support schemes, if we need to, if the situation
the mirrors
regresses,
can come back and all those sort of things.
We can switch them back on. So I think we're well positioned at the moment to protect jobs, as I've said, and make sure we're making the right investments to hold and stabilise the economic conditions for the bulk and majority of people.